Good day, everyone. Today we are going to discuss a new topic on our asynchronous class with the title We Help from the Heart and We Are Sent to Serve. Just like what we had last time, this is a two-in-one lesson for the Christian living. So before we begin, I hope you are seated on your most comfortable chair and also you have with you your notebooks and pencil or ball pen so that you may jot down notes while you are learning a new topic. So at the end of our lesson class, you should be able to realize that one must love God and help others to get to heaven, to show how to be loving and caring to those who are in pain and sorrow, and to pray for the conversion of sinners and the spiritual needs of our neighbors. So before we continue with our discussion this day, I want you to watch this video and later on I'll be asking some short questions for reflection.
John and Chris were brothers who lived in the same house, but their hearts and minds were completely opposite. John enjoyed life to the fullest. He was only concerned about his happiness and never cared about other people, whereas Chris was generous and kind at heart. He liked to help people. Everyone, including his friends and teachers, appreciated him for his helpful nature. It was summer vacation. The two brothers decided to go trekking with their friends. Both of them enjoyed the first day of their trek. Unfortunately, the two lost way on the second day. John took a different route in the woods, and Chris followed him. A little later, John and Chris lost track of each other as well. On the way, John came across an old woman who begged him for food. He refused outright to share his food with her. Later, he met a little boy who had hurt his leg. He asked him to help get back to his village. Again, John refused any help and continued his way. Though Chris had lost sight of John, he was actually following the same path. And so he met the same old woman. He offered her all the food he had. Next, he met the boy who was hurt. Chris offered him some water, helped him stand up, and offered his support to help him get back to his village. The boy's parents asked Chris to spend the night at their place. They also promised to help find his brother and friends the next day. Chris agreed happily. On the other hand, John was lost in the forest and had no one around to ask help for. He was now feeling scared of the dark reflections and strange voices in the forest. He started feeling cold and lonely. He wished he could find some help. Fortunately, he came across the same old woman again. "Please help me. I am lost. I cannot even find my brother. Have you seen him somewhere?" Of course, I had met that sweet child. But why should I help you? Did you help me when I needed you? Now, get lost. As he moved on, he saw some lights flashing downside. It looked like a village. John felt relieved and started running towards the lights. In his rush, he fell down and hurt himself, but somehow managed to reach the village. Exactly at the entrance, he met the same boy who had asked him for help in the forest. John told him that he was lost and needed a shelter to spend the night. But the boy was angry. "You don't deserve any help. Try a tree. Spend the night under it." John spent the night in pain and cold, crying all night. He had realized his mistake. At dawn, he heard a familiar voice calling out his name. It was Chris and the little boy. John rushed towards them and hugged his brother. "Thank God I found you. I have now realized the importance of helping others." John was a changed person from then. John
Okay, class. So, after watching the video, what have you realized? After watching the video, what have you learned? It is very important for us to help one another. It is an instinct that should have been seen through other people. It's kind of strange that although God gave us the Ten Commandments, when Jesus Christ came, he summarized it into two. Many are still insensitive. Many are still do not show care for others. And remember, class, if we follow God's commandments and also the precepts of the church, it leads to a more understanding of the love that we have for God and also what we have for others. That is why in this sense, the church gave us some works of mercy, and it is also based on the gospel. Now, when Pope Francis opened the extraordinary Jubilee Year of Mercy, he wants us to rediscover the works of mercy and the importance of mercy. He said that it will be a way to reawaken our conscience too, often grown dull in the face of poverty, and let us enter more deeply into the heart of the gospel, where the poor have a special experience of God's mercy. Now, when we do and practice the works of mercy, we experience the grace of God. We experience the grace of God while we are doing the works of mercy. When we do the works of mercy, other people see that Jesus is with us and that Jesus is felt by everyone. Now, another thing is that when we do and practice the works of mercy, the punishment left in our soul for our sins is reduced. That's a form of penance. And the last one is, this is one good thing. When we practice and do the works of mercy, we advance along the path of heaven. So we have two kinds of works of mercy. You have the spiritual and the corporal works of mercy. First one is the spiritual works of mercy. So a Christian can be caught up in personal problems. He must be concerned about the universal church and the salvation of all souls. If you can still remember the song, "Walang sino man ang nabubuhay para sa sarili lamang. Walang sino man ang namamatay para sa sarili lamang. Tayong lahat ay may pananagutan sa isa't isa. Tayong lahat ay tinipon ng Diyos na kapiling niya." We are for our brothers and sisters. And no one dies and lives on his own. And thank God that we Filipinos have the attitude and value of bayanihan. And the spiritual and corporal works of mercy is a very good example of bayanihan. And as you can see on your screen, we have here a list of 7 spiritual works of mercy. We have counsel the doubtful, instruct the ignorant, admonish the sinners, comfort the afflicted, forgive offenses, bear wrongs patiently, and pray for the living and the dead. Aside from the spiritual works of mercy, we have also the corporal works of mercy. Now, if spiritual works of mercy focuses on the spiritual aspect of other people, in corporal works of mercy, this is seen as an action visible to the eyes, visible to the eyes, and can be felt by others, just like the spiritual works of mercy. So, just like Jesus, who lived in this earth, he practiced also these things like feed the hungry, give drink to the thirsty, clothe the naked, shelter the homeless, visit the sick, visit the imprisoned, and bury the dead. And in this fortunate time, we are now in the season of Lent. I invite you and also invite your friends and your family members to practice at least one spiritual and corporal works of mercy. Remember that when we do it out of love, when we do it because we love God, sure enough, God will be with us. God will be with us. So with that, class, I hope you have learned something today, and I hope that when we help from the heart, we may realize that we are also sent to serve other people. With that, have a nice day, everyone, and see you on our next discussion.